Hey guys, Dr. Brown here with Kubo Math, and tonight we're looking at a problem for 5th and 6th graders. And the problem is we're asked to find 3 consecutive odd integers whose sum is 147. What to do? Now there may be a few terms that you 5th and 6th graders are not familiar with. For example, the term consecutive. It means in a row, or one next the next one, and that could be people standing in line. Well, you see those 3 guys in consecutive order, Bob, Joe, and Tom. Or it could be when we're talking about numbers, it's just the next one. Let's say I wanted 3 consecutive numbers. That could be 1, 2, 3. It could be 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, depending on where I start. If I said that what's the consecutive numbers from 3 up, it'd be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's the next one and the next one and the next one. Now, what's an integer? So looking at integers, it's counting numbers. So it's the numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way up to infinity. It also could be -1, -2, -3, so on. Obviously we have our big 0 in the middle. Now you guys probably haven't done, performed very many calculations, if any, with negative numbers. So let's just think about positive numbers. Numbers to the right of 0 all the way up to infinity. Okay, the largest number you can think of plus another one. So if we had these positive numbers here, we'll go up to 10, okay? They're asking us to find 3 consecutive, so it would be, the next one, the next one, the next one. But they want odd integers. So integers are accounting numbers. Consecutive mean they're in order, one right after the other. Hey, well, they want 3 of them, but you'll notice, let's say I pick an odd number. Let's pick 1. What's my next odd integer? It's 3. Odd is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, so on. Even would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So these would be the even ones here. And these would be the odd ones. That just keeps going. But you'll notice 1 plus what gives me 3. I have to add 2 to that. 3 plus what gives me 5. I can add 2 to it. Okay. 5 plus what gives me 7, adds 2. So if we started with an odd number and we add 2 to it, we get the next consecutive odd integer. 2 more, I get the next consecutive odd integer. The next one in the row of odd integers. So our question then becomes, we need to find 3 of those that add up the sum, the first one plus the second one plus the third one, they add up to be 147. Now if we started here, 1 plus 3 plus 5 is 9. So 5 plus 3 is 8 plus 1 is 9. Is that 147? No. Well, what about 3 plus 5 plus 7? So we could guess until we finally get it. That's no fun. Because it will take a while. But maybe there's a different way. With one of the students I work with sometimes, I always start calling, instead of something X, I call it A. In this case, we're going to call it N for integer. Okay, that's kind of cool. Now it's N. So let's just guess we have an odd integer that we're going to call N. So N equals my smallest integer, odd integer, smallest odd integer. I'll just put I for integer. Well, if n is my first one, just like starting here, if I let this be n, my next one is what? N plus 2. N plus 2 equals the second one, second odd integer. Now if this were my n, what's the next number? N plus 2 plus 2. So n plus 4. N plus 4. And that would be my third odd integer. Well, let's add these up because it said the sum of those needed to be 147. So I have 2 plus 4 is 6. N plus n plus n is 3n. Now I'm going to put a dot for multiplication instead of a big X, okay? So 3n plus 6 equals what? They're saying it equals 147. Okay. Now, you'll notice it's saying with this equal sign, what's on this side of the equation is equal to what's on the other side of the equation. Let's assume for a moment I had a big apple right there and it's equal to this big apple. Okay, apple equals this apple. If I take a bite out of this apple, it's no longer equal unless I take a bite out of this apple. Now they're equal. Well, if I take another bite out of this apple, they're not equal unless I take a bite out of this apple. And I keep doing that. Whatever I do to this side, as long as I do it to that side, it's still equal. Okay, so having said that, what is it we're trying to solve for? We're trying to solve for n. So I need to get everything away from n. Now you've studied, if I don't stretch my cord here, the order of mathematical operation. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. That's how you put together an equation. But so it's normally going that direction. You start with the parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, subtract. But now we're trying to take it apart. So I go the opposite way. I want to find subtraction, addition. I can do those simultaneously. So I have a plus 6. So 6 has been added. Well, if I subtract 6, 6 minus 6 is 0. I could make that 6 go away. But if I subtract 6 from that side, I have to subtract 6 from the other side. So let's try that. 3 times n plus 6 minus 6 equals 147 minus 6. As a matter of fact, if I were to put those underneath, let me just do that. I'll just put it under here. How's that? Now 6 minus 6 is 0, so that is gone away. I'm left with 3n. 3 times n equals 147 minus 6 is 141. Well, I don't want to know what 3n is. I want to know what 1n is. So I need to divide both sides by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. If you say 0, I'm coming to your house. Okay, 3 divided by 3 is 1. 1 times n is n. I think my n's getting a little crazy there, isn't it? N equals, of course, if you might be wondering, does that number, will it really divide by 3? Just add the 3 digits together. 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 is divisible by 3. So I know that number can be divided by 3. 4 times 3 is 12. 14 minus 12 is 2. Bring down the 1. 7 times 3 is 21. 21 divided by 21 is 0. So 47 is N. Well, what does that do for me here? Okay, my numbers, if 47 equals N, N plus 2 would be 49. And then N plus 4, 47 plus 4 is 51. Okay, let's add those together. 1 plus 9 is 10. 10 plus 7 is 17. Carry the 1. 5 plus 5 is 10 plus 4 is 14. 147. So the 3 consecutive integers on my number line would be 47, 49, 51. That's the 3 consecutive odd integers on my number line, and they add up to be 147. Why are we doing this? We're trying to expand our mind, grow our skill sets, and learn, okay? Together we're trying to build a better tomorrow and do that through math. All right, guys, study hard, and then we'll talk to you later. Thanks.